Hmm. I was sitting up here today and I was thinking to myself, what positive way could I get someone to just reach out for help? I mean, I've tried giving you the emotion from my standpoint as someone who has lost someone to suicide. I've tried to point out your own strength. But the reality is there's nothing I can do or say to get you to make the call to 1-800-273-8255. That call has to come from you. That moment of wanting to be stronger than you could have ever known has to come from you. Every single piece of information I want to provide to lead you to this well will never make you drink of it. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. That's not what my job is. But I care. And whether you know it or not, it matters to me if you decide to make a decision that I can't live with, that I don't want to live with. So before you have me or someone else who loves you or someone else who cares about you, before you have us having to live with a decision that we do not want to live with, please reach out and get help. Contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. And if for some reason you just don't feel confident enough to contact that number, then feel free to call or reach out to me or whatever you got to do with a simple message of we need to talk. And I will make myself available and be 100% there with you all the way. You are not in this fight alone.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
What's going on, Prime Nation, and welcome back to another Field Review podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. Now, I'm going to be 100% with every single person. You're probably not going to get your genuine script that you're expecting to get here today. And it's a reason for it. See, I like to take time to not go into things so high on emotions. I have to remove the emotions from it so I can be fair and objective. And today, people, we get to talk about another Detroit Lions loss. In fact, it's not just any kind of Detroit Lions loss. In my opinion, it's the worst loss that we have had this season and the worst loss that we have seen since Patricia took over. Like, I'm telling you that this loss is probably worse in a lot of ways, but we'll get around to it. So obviously, we're going to be talking about the Bengals versus Lions game. We're going to be talking about Dan Campbell's press conference, where we're going to actually go through it, break down, and see what he's talking about. We are also going to talk about the Lions offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, player personnel, and a host of other things, including your questions. We're going to talk about 97.1 The Ticket because they just find ways to hit the right buttons. And the only reason I go in and click on it because somebody always gives me the heads up, they tripping. And now I got to go and figure out what the deal is. But we're going to talk about that and more and get into it. Like I said, I got some things that I gotta address when it comes to me, and we're going to get it all knocked out. So let's see who's in the building. We got Looney Tunes, AB, Midwest Lion, Jimbo G, One Pride 40, JGB. We got my man, Dat Fan Man in the building, Delusional Lions Fan, Go Lions. Will K in the mix, Forbidden Knowledge. Let's see. Detroit Rage Sports is in the building. He says, worse than I thought, Luke. This is bad. We gonna get into it, bro. We got John Bradshaw in the building. Here's Johnny in the building. We got my man Steve Collins, which is from our family over there at Roar of the Lions UK. Let me see, make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. And we got Greg Charles in the building, Brandon McMillian in the building. And we're going to just talk about it. Now, first things first, people, okay? I'm finna break this up the best way possible. I want y'all to follow me on this. The Detroit Lions season and the game against the Bengals are going to get broken up into percentages. I'm breaking it up into percentages for a logical reason. So stay with me. Here's who I give the bulk of the blame to. 65% of it goes to coaching, particularly Dan Campbell. Now, the 65% I gave him is about to get scaled back. I know you're like, what? What do you mean? 30% is going to go to Jared Goff, and you can take the other 5 and split it how you want. But I'm going to tell you why it starts with the head coach. For me, I am at a point where I'm not mad at Dan Campbell. I appreciate Dan Campbell taking onus for this loss. I am excited to see that Dan Campbell is putting himself in the position to say, this falls on me. But there's a problem for me that I think Dan Campbell needs to address. And it starts with the same thing I've been talking about, which is, when are we going to put our best players on the field? Because of that, he's got the biggest bulk of it. You will always see me blame the head coach first. I just don't know no other way of doing it. It always comes down to me getting to the head coach first. He has to be the one to tell the coordinators what to do, to tell the players where we should be. His sole job is to make sure that these guys are prepared and ready to rock and roll. And this is not an indictment on Dan Campbell in no way, to be honest with you, because for me, I expected this much. Unlike Matt Patricia, who came in and claimed that he always knew he had a lot of work, I knew Dan Campbell had a lot of work. And to be honest with you, I am very disappointed. But the biggest part of me giving the blame to Dan Campbell falls on this one basis alone. He has somehow, some way, found himself continuously leaning on the quarterback. And how do I know this? How come I'm not blaming Anthony Lynn for poor play calling? Because I'm seeing people get open. Because I'm seeing protection plays. Has every play he called been perfect? No. Has every game that's been called by them been bad? No. But I'm going to show you why Dan Campbell gets it first. Because there's opportunities that we have to account for. Let's start with the first part of this. I always try to show a visual aid so that way it can be understood. The Lions are 0-6. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is no way what I thought this team would be. Granted, a lot of fans thought that we would be this. I did not. I think this team is much better than the 0-6. And I thought that the Bengals game was the first game that we actually just did not play well. If you wanted to say same old Lions game for the Bengals game, fine. I won't even argue with you. However, 6 games. Let's review. Game 1. I have a tendency to see things. In game 1, I want y'all to understand something. We were down 31-10. Stay with me now. 31-10. We were down 21 points at home in the opener. So I said, you know what? Dan Campbell's really first time coaching. We down to half. No big deal. So the first thing that jumped out to me was, how can we get to this point? Now, I know halftime numbers because I generally post them. But I go here and I see 9 carries, 11 carries, and I'm thinking, oh, so we got a total of 20 carries between 2 running backs. Brilliant. Just brilliant. And I said, okay, well, you know what? That was just that game. Then we go and we play Green Bay and we go into the half up 17-14. And I go and I look again, and we got 8 carries for DeAndre Swift, 7 carries for Jamal Williams. And I go, all right, so hey, it doesn't matter. 15 carries between 2 running backs. Brilliant. Now, here's the thing that I know some of y'all are going to say, well, they were behind, and that's why the run attempts were higher for the other team. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here, people. I'm trying to get you to see the visual of why I'm blaming the head coach. But let's go to game 3. They go up and they get a chance at home, and it took the breath of God to make a ball bounce up and over the goalpost for what will be a record kick. And I say to myself, damn, we were down 10-0 at halftime. Still not scoring in the beginning of the games, but don't worry about it. Let's see how he ran the ball. 14 carries for DeAndre Swift, 12 carries for Jamal Williams. And you know what? Again, wow, 26 rushing attempts. between two running backs. Then I get to the fourth game. And I say, damn it, we're down 14-0 at half. Woo, that sucks. But let's see. And I see Jamal Williams with 14 carries and DeAndre Swift with 8 carries. And again, I walk away saying to myself, here we go again. 22 carries between two running backs. And I'm just looking. And I get to the Vikings game. And I see 13 carries, 11 carries. And now I get to the Bengals game. I see 13 carries, 4 carries. And now I'm upset. And I'm so upset that I couldn't even go live yesterday because I'm ready to lose my shit. I'm ready to throw up. Because like this comment right here, I'm watching Seattle do what the Lions are supposed to do. I'm watching Seattle do what the Lions are supposed to do. They quarterback is out. They said, we're not going to depend on Geno Smith. We're going to run this thing. We haven't did that yet. I want to give y'all a fun fact. If anybody was paying any attention, did anybody happen to notice that the highest rush total for any one running back was 14? 14 carries. For any one running back. Did anybody notice that? 14 carries. I can literally go and show you a team who had a opportunity. Matter of fact, I think I will. I'll show you a team that had an opportunity to falter, and their coach made decisions that made sense. I also realized that the Lions got shafted another game previously. We'll get into that later. But I sat there, and I'm looking, trying to understand what's wrong with this team, and how do we fix it? How do we get this thing fixed? What is the real problem with this team? And it starts at Dan Campbell. It's not that he's a bad coach. It's not that he's an inexperienced coach. It's not that we don't have talent. It's none of that. It's his loyalty. It's his loyalty. Because if the frustration brought you to tears the week before, and the absolute mitigated gall of effort brought you to anger this week, heads should be rolling. People should be upset. People should be mad. And they should be mad because they're getting demoted or yelled at or chewed out because they have not done their job. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that. And I don't want to yell and go nuts about it, but let's just take a look here. Let's just take a gander. Because I want to show you what a coach is supposed to do. And this is what I thought we were going to do. But I understand what happens. How is it that Alex Collins in one game got more carries than any of our running backs in one game? Well, Luke, he was running that thing. He was doing the damn thing, Luke. He was running it. I don't care. Notice how there is no split carries. They got two running backs with Kellen Ballage and Najee Harris. You don't see this great equal balance of split carries. This is where the first mistake comes in at. You cannot win games throwing the ball 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 times. You cannot. The running backs will never get into rhythm if we are not giving them the ball. Well, Luke, we getting down too soon. Well, if you just run the ball, you ain't got to worry about getting down too soon. In games where they were running it, it's not happening. So that go to the first problem. The second problem is this, or how we fix this. I'm going to go through and tell you how we can fix it all. The second problem is this. We're not putting our best players out there. I literally watched them put my man Derek Barnes out there. He makes a play, and then he goes to the sideline. What the hell for? Why? Why? I'll watch Amon-Ra St. Brown, and this is another reason why I do not go by stats. I'm going to give you a reason why when people always want to tell me stats are a direct reflection of the game, and I laugh because I know it's not true. Neither of these quarterbacks should have an interception. Jared Goff interception should not be on him. That ball was taken directly from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He got muscled. In the case of one Mr. Joe Burrow, he should not have an interception because the ball went right in the hands of Jamar Chase. He just didn't catch it. But let me ask y'all a question. If you were to go and rewind back to the beginning of this season before we ever played a snap, and I were to ask you, which side of the ball do you think would be the strongest side of the ball from us? And this is where I need your help, chat. This is where I need you, Pride Nation, to tell me, to give me some answers to this. If I were to ask you, what would be the strongest side of the ball between offense and defense and special teams, what would you say? Before we ever took a snap, before a game ever was played, tell me, Pride Nation, what would you have said? What would you have said? What would be the strongest part of this team? Because this is a very important question. This is a question that, in my opinion, helps underline a bigger problem. So I'm seeing a lot of special teams. I'm seeing a lot of offense. I'm giving y'all a minute. If you are sitting here being honest and you had an opportunity to seriously say what was going to be the strongest side of our ball, I'm pretty sure that you all would have walked away and said, offense. Offense should be the strongest side of the ball. And I would have agreed with you. Because just a year before, this team gave up a historical amount of points, worse than the team that went 0-16, which was them. They outdid themselves and still won 5 games. Now, let's talk about this 30% that go to Jared Goff. As I stated before, Jared Goff should not have had an interception on his list. He shouldn't have. That was not his fault. But let me be clear, people. Let me be clear. I am waving the white flag. I am waving the white flag. And the reason I'm waving the white flag is because there were a lot of people before Jared Goff ever took a snap and said he can't do it. He's not the answer. He is not there. Now, JGB is already ahead of me on one of my points, but I'm going to get to it. I'm out on Jared Goff. Jared Goff has to earn my respect back. I'm out on him. Because you are talking about a league that is designed for the offense to score points. You're talking about a league that has been put in a position to score points. They literally put the defense at a disadvantage to get more scoring. I am out on Jared Goff. I'm waving the white flag. I was wrong. I was wrong. I literally wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I said, I really believe that you should let any person take a snap before you judge them. It don't take me long to see the problems. It don't take me long to understand this. Charlie says, I told you, and you thought I was tripping. The sad part is Goff's still going to be here for at least two another season or more. That's the sad part. They're not drafting a quarterback next year. And you're going to have to at least see him for another season. And I got to tell you, I'm praying that he gets better. But there are certain things about Dan Campbell that makes me want to puke. Because this is why I'm about ready to move his scale up to 70 and take the 5 off of Goff. And I'm going to tell you why. I can almost show you in video, and I am going to show you, that Dan Campbell is frustrated with his quarterback. Dan Campbell is disgusted with his quarterback. And if you are one of those people who thought that the Lions was not going to win anyway, if you are one of those people who thought that they wasn't going to win anyway, you can't be upset. They have fulfilled your expectations. But for a person like me who thought that this team can win anywhere between 7 to 9 games, and I still see 7 winnable games on there, I'm telling you, I'm on Jared Goff. I can't even see those games being winnable because I have a quarterback who cannot see the whole field. If anybody ever played Madden, you know they used to have this dumb feature where they will literally sit up there and have a cone, and if you had Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, you could see the whole field. Everybody else, you had to turn that stupid cone to look at the receiver to throw it to him. Jared Goff cone looks like a line drawn by a fine point pen. And to me, I'm out on him. I'm out. I'm going to show you why I believe the head coach is technically out on him, but I believe that he is also trying his best to not throw Jared Goff under the bus another week. Let's go to the post-game conference from one Mr. Dan Campbell.
And that's the story of the game. So, that was a beatdown.
Why do you think the effort wasn't there like it was the first 5 games?
You know what? More importantly, the focus wasn't there. And
so I'm going to be breaking this down as we go, because I have people who want to tell me one thing when the evidence is there for something different, right? I got people telling me one thing. So here's the thing. He's right. There was no focus there. And the scary part about it is this. If you would have told me that I was going to take, I don't know, 2 undrafted cornerbacks and toss them out there to try to cover the receiving core of the Bengals, and they would be able to hold them to 10 points, I would have said, boo. If you would have told me that the Lions defense would be harassing Joe Burrow, I would have said, boo. If you would have told me that the Lions defense would have been the sole reason that the game was respectable for as long as it was for a few, 3 quarters, I would have said, boo. The lack of focus was not there. Now, I know some people are saying, hey, you got to blame Holmes. No, I don't. Holmes got a lot to clean up. That's a real problem. He's doing the best he can. But I'm talking about what happened on the field. Let Dan Campbell continue. Hold on. I'm messing up.
Effort wasn't there like it was the first 5 games.
you know what? More importantly, the focus wasn't there. And I've said, I told the team this, look, man, I'm going to look at everything. That's my job. But when you get whipped like that, that's on me. There's no other way around that. Of course, we'll look at everything, but that's a reflection on me. That's a reflection on me. You don't play like that. We don't have a team that is, that team is not 30-something points better than us.
I want you to understand something. When he says that team is not 30-something points better than us, that's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's a problem. One that he understands that we should be better than this. There's no reason we should be losing the game. And if we're going to lose, we damn sure shouldn't be losing like this. This is the problem. Now, the bigger issue is, I told you my scale going to be moving. Because one thing I can say for sure is Aaron Glenn going to be all right. I don't know how he doing it. I don't know what he said to him. I don't know if he gave him a shot of anything. But I can't make this stuff up. Your head coach has gotten to a point where he's frustrated because he understands that we are a better team than what we saw. Yesterday was no effort. That was a wake up and don't give 2 cares. But we're going to get to it. There's some very interesting parts in it that I want you to look at for body language. Let me get it back going.
There's no way. And, they did. They played well over there, but we didn't execute. We talked about tempo. We come out, we go penalty, we go MA on offense. I mean, what the heck? So we shot ourselves in the foot. We could not execute. We had some plays that were there to make. We didn't make them. So it's brutal. It's on me.
Dan, is this the first time that you're truly disappointed and angry?
Yes. Yes, it is. That was brutal. We weren't even in that fight. We weren't even in it. Everything that we did there, you look at our stats offensively, that was because they're just in prevent cover 2. They're just, we should make those plays. So
let me just tell you why I'm in love with Dan Campbell, why I don't blame Dan Campbell. The realism that comes off of him bleeds like a swag that you've never seen before. To sit there and openly be like, they was in prevent cover 2. We should get those plays. Huh? You know what should not happen, though, Dan? You shouldn't have a running back finish with 14 carries when he had 8 of them in the first half, right? And this is not just me looking at it and saying this is all on the coach, but he holds the bulk of it because he had to get them prepared, and he did not do that, right? He did not get them to that point. Now he turns around. All right. He turns around and he gets to a point where he has to just call it a spade. Because I believe, and I could be wrong, I think they was like 38-something passing yards. 30-something passing yards at halftime. All right. Now, granted, we're going to get into it, but I want you to focus on body language. This is the name of the game today. We're going to get into it. Oh, wait a minute. Did it stop on me? All right, hold on. It stopped. Let me get it together, people. Let me get it together. All right.
It's not, you know what? In defense, if that's the game, if that's the way it's going, our defense can't allow us. They can't allow the opponent to score them. So be it. That's life. If you're the ones who are playing best, you gotta hold them and keep us in the game. Then keep it to where we can score maybe one score and find a way to win the game. But that's not good. It's not good.
Considered maybe making some kind of change. I mean, even just to bring David Blau in to try to give him a little injection, because obviously you have very few pieces to maneuver with between injuries and youth and inexperience on this team. What kind of changes can you make to maybe give the offense at least a little bit of an injection?
Well, we're gonna look at everything. All right. I need to go look at the tape tonight. It's easy to get upset with what we're doing or certain players at certain times, and but we'll look at everything. I've got about 1 million ideas just floating around up here right now as to what I want to do. How do we create tempo for our offense? More important, that's where I feel like we're struggling right now. We have no momentum, no rhythm, no tempo offensively.
Now, this is where I get frustrated because I know he knows what the problem is. I know that he knows what he's talking about. And what I also know is that is a direct statement to his damn offensive coordinator. Where is the tempo? And I'm not gonna just be acting like this is just a Jared Goff problem. I'm not saying we need to fire Dan Campbell. I saw too many idiots saying fire Dan Campbell, same old Lions, fire Brad Holmes, get these rookies out of here, and all this other stupid stuff that ain't got nothing to do with football. I don't see enough of that dumb stuff as it is. It's too ridiculous. But he is right. Where the hell is the tempo? And it goes back to my point of why are we doing this damn split down the middle with the running backs? Pick one and tell him this game is on you. You can't handle it. I'll make the guy behind you be the guy. And just go that way. Go that way. But Dan Campbell's going to get frustrated in this interview because the reporter's going to bring up something and he's going to try his best to lose it and try to defend Jared Goff a little bit. But I'm going to show you how quick the body language and the spirit can't resist its own true urges. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
tempo offensively, and it's killing us right now, and it's killing us on third down. And until we can begin to complement and help each other out, offense, defense, we need special teams to make a play. We can't have a block in the back that puts us down inside the 20. I mean, those just crush us, you know. Shoot, man, Amani comes up with the ball again. He's got a great interception. What do we do offensively? We end up, you know, we can't make the catch, and it's an interception right back to him. And so we're going to look at everything, though.
When you put something like this on yourself, Dan, what does that
Look
mean?
at the body language.
What do you feel like you didn't do right through the course of this week that set this up?
Yeah, well, I probably should have been a little bit more forceful on Wednesday is probably what I should have done. You know, we didn't go pads. Maybe we should have gone pads. I'm going to think about all this. I know this. I'll be looking directly at myself tonight first before anything else, because that's the bottom line. You don't get whipped like that unless you're freaking your head coach has a hand in that. That's the truth. So.
But what's the message that you delivered to your team after the game?
Everything I just told you.
What happened on Wednesday's practice? It's just a bad practice or what?
No.
So some of y'all may not have caught that, but I want you to pay close attention. If you really listen, you hear a thumping sound. That is his damn finger on the desk. He is trying to collect himself. And I know that Jack Frost says he loves the passion and everything. He got $1 back. F that. I want them to see. I want them to see what it looks like when you give a care. And when you care, you need to see it. And anybody else who's not paying attention needs to see it. I'm not for this. I'm not for this losing. I ain't come here for this. Do your job or get out. It's simple. So when he said, I'm going to look at everything, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Because what I want to see is some no huddle early on in the game. Come out on the first drive and don't no huddle it. Just go all the way down the field. I want to see a commitment to one running back on the freaking field. I want to see a commitment to our linebackers being on the field the entire time. And when I see that, I'll believe when he says he's looking at everything. See, Dan, I know where this is going. But if I get closer to some things pertaining to Jared Goff, he's going to do it again. He's going to tell the truth. Now watch it. Here we go.
You know, there again, it was a little bit like we'd done the week before, except we didn't go pads, you know. And it was more of a teaching type deal to get our bodies back a little bit. And, you know, maybe we were just a little too lax. Maybe it just wasn't quite honed in the way it needed to be. And, you know, and so that's where it's got to begin. It's always got to begin. And it doesn't matter if you're 0-5 or 0-6. If you're not coming back to work, refocus, ready to go, I mean, you got a job to do. We got a job to do. And if you got any pride about you, you come back to work. So.
If you look at the last 4 games, you guys haven't scored a touchdown in the first half. They'll get up to these slow starts. Can you speak on that a little bit? And what is your confidence in Jared Goff moving forward? I mean, 51.
It has nothing to do with Jared. That's not true, E. That's not true.
So just in case you're wondering, that's Eric Woodard, Mr. ESPN himself, who writes for the Detroit Lions. And he simply asked the question of, you know, hey, you guys haven't really scored in the first half. And, you know, what is your confidence level of Jared Goff? And he says it's not on Jared. And then he stops himself and said, that's not true. That's not true. And he's going to go on to talk about how we got people who are not running the right routes and how Jared Goff can't even trust a guy to be in the right spot. But I want you to focus on all that energy because I want you to see something. I want you to see how, as much as he wants to point that out, he can't help but do what everybody else is doing and call a spade a spade. Let's get it. Uh-oh, it don't stopped on me. Wait a minute. I know it didn't stop on me.
This is a collective. This is collective offensively for everything from how can we help schematically to, man, are we man at the improper time? Are the guys getting open? Is he making the throw he should? Is he making the right read? So this is a.
Now I want to go back a little bit. I don't want to
What is your confidence in Jared Goff moving forward? I mean, 51.
It has nothing to do with Jared. That's not true, E. That's not true. But what I'm saying is I don't put this all on Jared Goff. This is a collective. This is collective offensively for everything from how can we help schematically to, man, are we man at the improper time? Are guys getting open? Is he making the throw he should? Is he making the right read? So this is a collective, believe me, this is a collective effort offensively that we're digging ourselves into a ditch with offensively. So this is all of it.
Again, is the lack of focus something to worry about long term, or you believe that this team is able to get that back next week after?
Yeah, I trust our players. I do. There again, we're young.
Notice how he.
I know I like the captains on this team, and I know what they're about. And I still like these players. This is the first time I feel like we weren't in it, and so I believe that we'll refocus. I think these guys will come back to work. And there again, man, we got to go, and there's got to be a point of emphasis to it, and you got to have some pride about you, and we have to, as coaches, put a good game plan together for them, give them the best opportunity to have success. That's our job.
David, at any point today, did you consider sitting Jared?
No.
Even for momentum?
Nope. Did not.
And just to be clear, because Jen asked about Blau and Eric asked about Goff going forward, is that one of the changes that you will be considering, the change of quarterback?
No. Now, it doesn't mean that something won't ever come up. I'm going to look at everything, but look.
Now, it was at this point where Dan Campbell lost me. You know why? When they asked him, did you ever consider putting in David Blau? He said, no, I never consider it. Doesn't mean that it won't come up down the road. This is the point where I got to go on Dan Campbell and say, hey, you are at a pivotal point in your coaching career. And every move you make can make or break you. If this continues to where Jared Goff can play like this, and he does not bench him, and I'm talking about like if we end up 0-7, come off the bye week, and they lose, and now we 0-8, you have to bench Jared Goff. If he does not bench Jared Goff, I fear he will lose the entire locker room. Why? Because all this is going to be talk at this point. There's no consequence. See, the defense stepped up. You see what happened when they cut Jamie Collins? Things got real on the defense. You want to spark your offense? Send the message. Do what you're supposed to do and bench him. I'm frustrated with Jared Goff because I expect more. I really do expect more. I also expect for him not to be the one that have to win the games, throwing the ball 40 and 30, something too many times. Run the ball. But if he does not, if Campbell himself never considered benching him in a game that really didn't do it, it don't make sense. And I'm at the point with Jared Goff where I believe that you could get anybody to play like this. So why not get anybody to play like this? At some point, a message has to be sent. And I know it's frustrating. I know it's aggravating. But I feel that if he misses this opportunity, if he misses this opportunity, he can lose the locker room. This can be bad for them. But let's let him keep going because now he's on defense. And it's going to go right out the window real fast. Let's go.
Never come up. I'm going to look at everything, but look, to me, this was a collective effort offensively. This is not, you can't blame one person there. Just like, I know maybe you think it's easy to just throw it out and for me to blame it on myself. Look, I gave plenty of, they heard.
Now I want you to understand something. He's trying to explain that it's a collective loss, right? And I'm not disagreeing with him that it's a collective loss. But I want you to watch how he walks himself into a corner and just goes into his truth. Watch this.
They heard plenty from me in there. But the bottom line, that is the truth, is that I didn't help them. I didn't help them prepare for this game properly, or help our coaches help them prepare properly. So yeah, they got a hand in it, and we'll be evaluating them. But everybody's going to be evaluated as well. Everybody.
Sorry about that. He did miss, Hawkinson on a touchdown. He has, some of the numbers don't look good.
Yeah, there's some guys that MA too, and he's trying to make a throw with guys that are MAing. And
so if you didn't hear the question, he said he did miss Hawkinson on a wide open pass. And I know he's trying the best to get the ball to people. And now Dan Campbell gets mad and say, yes, yeah. And there's some guys who's MA and essentially that they're not in the right damn spot when they're supposed to be in the right damn spot, and they're not. And he's frustrated. And I love that he's frustrated, because guess what? He's the one person who can change it all. He's the one person who can change it all. It's ridiculous. Let's keep going.
Throw with guys that are MAing. And so he can't even trust where the hell they're supposed to be at. So I'm with you. I don't mean to get upset.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So yeah, look, he's got to make some throws, and then our receivers got to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And we can't mess around. But I know.
Yeah, we've seen you after some tough losses, and you've been cool and calm for the most part. You're obviously fired up and pissed off today. Can you explain the juxtaposition of emotion, why you're so...
No, because we weren't in this. We weren't even in this game. It's demoralizing when you are under 2 and they're kneeling the ball and I have 3 timeouts.
Yeah, that's all you, buddy.
And it's it's just kudos to them. They did a damn good job. They whipped our ass.
I'm sorry, Dan. Could you sense it coming at all?
No.
That was a dumbass question from the media. Could you sense it coming? What kind of question was that? Like, did you sense it coming? What is he, Spider-Man? What did it? If you don't come prepared with your stuff, just shut up. You get a chance to be in the room and write any question you want. And you come up with, did you sense it coming? What did you think he was going to say? Yeah, I saw it coming. I saw it coming a mile away. Oh, and it was a doozy. It was radical. Like what? Come on, media. We gotta do a better job of this, okay? This whole did you sense it? I just hated that question. Had to point that out. Let's get into it. Now, mind you, he's trying to still defend Jared Goff. But I see your true colors shining through. Watch this bullshit right here.
They did a damn good job. They whipped our ass.
I'm sorry, Dan. Could you sense it coming at all?
No. Nope. No, couldn't.
Okay, coming out of the locker room, still football game 10-0. You got 4th and 1, big play to maybe change that momentum. What happened there? It seemed like a missed assignment. Mixon probably should have been wide open.
On the roll pass. Yeah, I'm with you. So really that was, you'd like to think you're going to be able to take the edge on that. That was a little more of an all-out play to run. You're kind of, at that point in the game, you're kind of playing the odds, if you will. And so not that we don't have somebody for him, but you're hoping your edge defender maybe at least nudges him, hits him.
Now, if you're wondering what play he's talking about that play that they threw out the backfield where we watched Jamar Chase basically run down there and escort one Mr. Will Harris off the field. But I do love this saying right here. Remember when we were talking about the season a few months ago and we don't even care if we win any games this year and it's all about the rebuild. Now we're shocked that this team ain't the truth because many people started to see that this team was better than what they thought. They're just not getting over the hump. So that's where the problem come in at. I also love the comment right here from my man JGB who said basically my man got that's so Raven vision, or my man Dr. Detroit who says, yeah, I felt the tingling in my ass before the game started. Like, what kind of question do these people come up with? I just don't. This is just the stupidest stuff. But again, I want to acknowledge those who point out some stuff that you cannot argue. Now, in this point, he's trying to explain this play, and it is what it is. It was a good play. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you try to act like that wasn't the case, it was a good play. It really was, and it sucks. I see you, Steve. So let's go ahead and get back into it now. Oh my God. I'm just giving you my best version of when I see your true colors. Don't judge me now. All right. Now, here he is again, getting back into it.
How do you judge your quarterback with the offensive line missing two guys, receiving room keeps being shuttled in and out? Can you judge your quarterback harshly with everything that's going on?
Now the question is with two offensive linemen being out of the game, or all the injuries that you have at the receiving position and all these other problems, can you judge your quarterback too harshly at this point in the game? Now I want y'all, this is very important, people. This is very important. And before we even show you how important this is, you know what? I'm going to let you see how important it is. If you come here not too long ago, and I've been having a debate with some people who are a part of this community, a part of Pride Nation. I've made polls and posts. I want to make sure I didn't read this wrong. When Campbell says, look, I think he's trying to take chances, sometimes to a fault. Campbell said, I think he's trying to get it downfield, sometimes when he might go to the first look. Look, one of those yesterday, this is him talking about the game against the Vikings. TJ Hockenson is open on the hitch. Just throw the hitch. Then we don't have the issue. We don't have the sack fumble. And when I see this line right here, Hockenson is open on the hitch. Just throw the hitch, then we don't have the issue. We don't have the sack fumble. Just take what's there. That to me tells me that he is literally pointing out at this point that that play was not because of the tackles. It's not. He's pointing that out. When he says just take what's there, he's telling me that that play is not on the tackles. That's on the quarterback who can do things that would absorb it. He then goes on to say, we like it, and that's what it's for. If they're going to play off, then we don't even have that mess. In other words, we got the look we wanted. Throw the damn ball, Jared. Now, some of y'all going to say that's not what he meant by that. Some of y'all going to say, oh, it wasn't about the offensive line at all. Oh, he wasn't absorbing him or anything. Fine. Clearly, Jared Goff ain't played well. And clearly, there are other problems with this team that we got to look at, right? Clearly, it's not just on Goff.
Yeah, look, I think I will say this. I still don't feel like we can accurately judge him one way or another. I don't feel that way yet.
Now, he said, I don't accurately believe that we can judge him one way or another. I didn't say that. Dan Campbell said that. All right. I'm just going to put it out there. He said, I cannot accurately judge him like that, right? Watch this damn body language, people. Now, again, I read this exact quote as somebody who is basically putting the blame and throwing his quarterback under the bus. I ain't going to say throwing him under the bus. I'm going to say he's holding the quarterback accountable with that statement right there. He's holding him accountable, right? Like, there is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He's holding him accountable with that right there. Now, he can't accurately evaluate Jared Goff right now. But watch this, y'all.
I will say this.
Go ahead, talk now. Don't hold back them good words.
I feel like he needs to step up more than he has.
Hold up. Hold the hell up. Let me go back. Some of us missed that. Let me go back. I want to make sure I caught his thing right. All right? You can't accurately evaluate him. You having the hardest time just evaluating him. You got to a point where all of a sudden you was at a loss for words, and now let's go back. Here, at this point, he is telling you we have a problem at the quarterback position. At this point, right? He's telling you that. Now, here,
still football game 10-0. You got 4th and 1. Big
he
play.
can't evaluate it.
Change that moment.
Oh, I went back too far. Let me go back up.
You're going to be able to take the edge on that. That was a little more of an all-out look. It was a good play call, and
let me go up here now.
you're kind of going all out there to see if you can get a stop.
Dan, how do you judge your quarterback when the offensive line missing 2 guys, receiving room keeps being shuttled in and out? Can you judge your quarterback harshly with everything that's going on?
Yeah, look, I think I will say this. I still don't feel like we can accurately judge him one way or another. I don't feel that way yet. Now, I will say this.
Can't judge him. Go ahead, talk to him. You can't accurately judge him. You at loss for words. What's your next thing you gonna say now? Make it important now.
I feel like he needs to step up more than he has.
Be damn. So you can't.
And I think he needs to help us. Just like everybody else. And I think he.
Now, one of the things that I keep having conversations with people is they said, look, Dan Campbell said he needs to help us just like everybody else. He's clearly not absolving the tackles on plays like you thought. This is what they said to me. They were very adamant that I was wrong in that assessment and that's not fair. Right? They said it's not fair for me to do that. All right. Now watch this. Watch how, keep in mind, I want you to understand that everything you're seeing at this point is him basically trying his best to protect the quarterback. Even though he told us right here, hey, we don't get a sack fumble if he just throws the ball. Right? Like he putting it out there. If he throws the ball, there is no sack fumble. He puts it right here. Now watch how all of a sudden, he couldn't evaluate it to say he got to step up. And he said, like everybody. But watch how his nature can't get out his own way.
Just like everybody else. And I think he's going to need to put a little bit of weight on his shoulders here, and it's time to step up, make some throws, and do some things. And but he needs help. He needs help.
He needs help.
And look, I told him out there, he knows this, but some of that stuff, we're getting these holding calls. Well, it's because he's drifting back in the pocket 10 yards deep. That's not fair to those guys either. And if you
Whoa, Dan. Hold the hell up. Some of those we're getting holding calls because he's drifting 10 yards in the. You know what? See, I can't make this stuff up. It's very vanilla to me. It's very clear what he pointing out to me, but I got some people who don't believe that that's the case. In fact, they will argue with you that 2 things can be true. And this, in my opinion, is not about 2 things being true. It's about how the football is played in stages. We don't need for certain things to occur or happen because guess what? We don't need it. And if we don't need it, we don't have to worry about certain things. And they're making it clear to us. So one of the things that I want to get down to on the nuts and bolts of a lot of this stuff is what he said. Because again, as much as he's trying to protect the guy, he couldn't help himself. In fact, Dan Campbell makes an attempt to call out Goff, and I felt the same thing. He says, I feel like Goff needs to step up more than he has, Campbell says, and I think he needs to help us just like everybody else. I want to emphasize the everybody else part, people, because some people think I read stuff wrong. It says, I think he's going to need to put a little weight on his shoulder here, and it's time to step up and make some throws and do some things. You don't say. Campbell couched his comments about Goff a little bit by saying the quarterback needs help, which is absolutely true, but the coach circled back to his thesis. You damn Skippy. Because sometimes when it's hard for you to fight against your nature to tell the truth and you are an honest person, you can't help it. He says he needs help. He needs help, like I told Goff, and he knows this. But some of that stuff, we're getting holding calls because he's drifting back into the pocket 10 yards deep. That's not fair to those guys either. If you're hanging on to the ball, I want you to understand something. You're talking about a quarterback. I told you before, in that game where he had the sack fumble against the Ravens, I said, that's not on Sewell. That's on him. He needs to step up in the pocket. Who in the hell dropped that far back when their whole job is to create a horseshoe around you? You stood at the end of the damn horseshoe like it was a pot of gold waiting on you at the end of a rainbow. But I can't tell people this. I can't explain to people that he's holding on to the ball. I can't explain to people that he is allowing himself to get sacked. I can't explain to people that this guy, Goff, is one of the major reasons why the offensive line looks bad. And the coach who said he can't evaluate him one way or another had no problem pointing this stuff out. So let's be fair. Let's be fair. You got a quarterback who's taking the ball a lot in shotgun. And I had to reach out to a few people. Some people who actually played in the NFL and played the quarterback position. Not going to tell you who they are, but if you're smart, you'll know who I'm talking about. And I asked them, is he supposed to be dropping back this far on this play? And they looked at it, and they told me, nope. That's a 4 or a 5 step drop. He's went back 7 or 9 or 10. And then I thought, well, is it because of pressure? Because I don't see this pressure. Nope. It looks like he's waiting for routes to just completely be ran and throw the ball. And I said, so it's not just me. But even here, a week after the fact that he pointed out that if he do his job, certain things don't happen. And now you're talking about a guy going 10 yards deep and holding on to the ball. Now, some haters going to say it's fake. Haters going to say it's fake. That's what they're going to do. If we had Herbert, we would not have this issue. Damn Bob Quinn. This is why you don't give nobody a third year, bro. You don't give nobody a third year who's on the hot seat because you have a staff of people who wanted one person, a head coach who wanted a different one, and a GM who was like, no, forget that. We taking this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I can show you in real time where Jared Goff himself is single-handedly performing at a level that I can put any of you to do. And it wouldn't even cost you $30 million. I can put any of you in there to call the same plays and get production. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. He can't evaluate him, is what the head coach say. This is him trying to be PR, but that's not in his blood. PR is not in him. The truth is. And he can't help it. When you got a guy who's able to sit up here and just say, you know what? I don't like this, I don't like that, and I don't like this. They're telling you up front what the problem is. And I got people trying to tell me that, oh, you know what it is? Guess what it is? It is the offensive line. It's bad guard play. He never said anything like that. It's what they're telling me. Yes, he said everybody. Yes, he said that they lost the game against the Bengals collectively. But you know what else he said? He flat out said it just like this. He said, our quarterback got to be better. He had already answered the question. You had already told the people that you can't do certain things. It doesn't make sense. Now, there's another thing that they say. He has nobody to throw to. He has nobody open. Your head coach is saying that's not true. And me, who go back and watch every freaking clip of all 22s, is telling you people are open. And in fact, let's see if I can find one. And I know it's the one. I ain't even gotta do it. If you watch the game, they literally showed 2 people open in front of him, and he just refused to throw the ball. Don't tell me ain't nobody open and he got 4s and 5s and stuff. No, come on. Let's be honest. He's not a top 5 quarterback where he can make receivers good. He is what he is. I get it. But I don't even need him to be what he is, because if what you is not being able to see the field, we got a problem. I need you to throw the ball so that the guys who are open can catch. There's 2 dudes running in front of you, and they have to show it on replay because they're like, hey. And then I'm going to show you another thing. All right? I'm going to show you another thing that pissed me off. It's 4th and 4. It's 4th and 4. And you telling me on 4th and 4, you throw the ball away. And God's good. Give me a scenario. Anybody in the chat, give me one scenario where just one scenario where on 4th and 4, it's smart to throw the ball away. And even he had to admit, a.k.a. Jared Goff, had to admit he had a momentary lapse. Huh? What do you mean you had a momentary lapse? You don't get to have a momentary lapse. You don't get to have that. Because there's no reason for you to have a momentary lapse. You just simply need to get the ball to the open receiver. You thought on 4th and 4, I'm going to throw it. Now, keep in mind, Lion King, I'm not acting like the play calling didn't suck. I've already pointed that out at the beginning of the video. But I'm getting to the part of the video where I'm showing you that the head coach is frustrated. That man had to pause and think about his next words and still couldn't come up with nothing good enough other than he needs to step up. This is how bad it's gotten, how frustrated he's gotten. It doesn't make sense. It don't. He's frustrated. I'll show you if you don't believe me.
Onto the ball. So it's like I told you, this is a collective effort now. Everything goes hand in hand. But I want to see him step up. I do. Because I think he can do it.
Just wanted to ask you, you did use one of those timeouts there after 2 minutes when they were taking a knee. Was there...
Now the rest of it I don't care about. They asked him about why did he call a timeout and all this other stuff and why he didn't do this. But I got a solution for this because I'm about finding solutions. I just wanted to show the people who have told me for the longest that the head coach is not blaming the quarterback. He could have talked about anything in the world. He took that time to point out that the quarterback. He even said after he said, "Oh, I can't evaluate him." He could have left it at that, but he could not help himself. He had to say something. He had to. And the reason he had to is because people want to say, oh, he's under pressure. So I got another question for you, Pride Nation. This is for you, Pride Nation. Let me ask y'all a question, okay? Because some of y'all are trying to figure out, well, Luke, you really waving the white flag? Yes, I'm waving the white flag on Jared Goff. I can't defend him. If I didn't see receivers open, I'd be like, oh, ain't nobody open. No, that makes sense. That's why he getting sacked. They're open. And they're not even open. They're like in his face. They're like right there. If it was a rat and it pissed on cotton, he would hear it. That's how close they are. And he doesn't see him. And you got a head coach who's pointing out that, hey, yeah, he's literally sitting there holding the ball and going back too deep on his drops. Hey, if he throws the hitch, we don't have a sack fumble. He's literally doing it. Go and look at those passes that he threw. When I'm watching time of possession, and I see that the Bengals had time of possession as long as they did, why is our defense on the field so long? Why? Your quarterback is throwing the ball away on 4th and 4. What good can come out of that? I don't care if a flag was thrown. If you think about this, if a flag was thrown on 4th and 4, don't it make more sense for you to launch that thing down the field and see what happens? I mean, if it gets intercepted, guess what? It's a punt. And if they accept it, they accept it. If they don't, you get another down. Whatever it is anything better than throwing the ball out on 4th and 4. I just don't get it. I don't. When you got guys this close, and he didn't see him. He never even looked at him. I mean, seriously. And we gotta deal with this for another season. We got another season of dealing with this. Just for the record, I'm still not talking draft. I just can't. The winner in me just can't. I'm sorry. I can't. But I can tell you this much. We can be so much better if we just get the quarterback to do his job. That's it. Just do your job. You don't got to do anything else. It doesn't make sense. God. And we got people who still want to defend Jared Goff. It's not all his fault. It's not. But break it up. Put it in percentages. Tell me, how much is it Jared Goff's fault? I can't defend him. The coach can't defend him. And you know why? Because the coach expects more. I expect more. And I have expectations where I can get somebody to come in here and be better than they were. But what I don't like and what I cannot stand for is the fact that this team is so much closer if we could just get something to happen. And it's not like Goff is the only person. It's not like he's the only person under pressure. I watched all of them. I went back and watched every game. I just had to. I needed something to do. My spirit was broke. And I'm watching people like Tua get hit in the face and deliver the ball to Waddles. He was under pressure. I'm watching our Lions put heat on Joe Burrow. He seemed to be okay with the pressure. I don't get it. And it sucks. Because, yes, I have a high expectation. And if the problem is receivers, then go and get somebody. If the problem is the quarterback, bench him. Because I'm telling you right now, tell me that you could not get a rookie, Tim Boyles, David Blau to play this same way. That we could not get our Keith Gates. That we could not get Forbidden Knowledge, Tim Hutchinson, Hungry Panda Studios, Dr. Detroit. That we could not get Micro Mike. That we could not get Crimson Shadow, Ghetto Pat, Bring the Fire, Dan Spin. Tell me we couldn't get one of you to play the same way. I expect more. The head coach expects more. And then it got me to thinking. Because now I'm finna move some more points over to Jared Goff. I want to blame the coordinator, but what if it's exactly what McVay said, that Goff has problems with complex playbooks? Now, you may be saying, well, Luke, where are you getting that from? From today's interview where Dan Campbell is talking about scaling back the playbook some more to one word? Scaling it back? What? And I don't want to hear any talks about, oh, well, that's not fair. He scaled it back because of this, or this is not. No. We need to start to focus on something else. We need to be running the damn ball. But I'm wondering if the playbook is in that way because of who the quarterback is. I'm starting to wonder. And I'm frustrated because I have high expectations. And if you had high expectations like me, you would be frustrated too. So I'm just asking him to be better. I mean, seriously. Goff will struggle to cope with the White Castle's menu, let alone L's playbook. I'm just saying. I just want more. I just want more. And if you were already like my man, one funky Lion fan who did not think that for 1 second that this team was going to be good, that this is a rebuild and it's going to be that way, I understand. You can get through every game and keep the evaluation going. Bravo to you. But I'm pissed because my expectations was higher. I saw the winning formula. And yes, it's not all on Jared Goff because guess what? I know that Anthony Lynn knows what Jared Goff is, and I know what Dan Campbell knows what Goff is, but yet they're still playing this damn game of split the damn running backs. Here's a thought. Instead of splitting all the carries between the damn running backs, let's try playing 2 quarterbacks. It seems to be working for the Saints. It seems to be working for the 49ers. Let's start playing 2 quarterbacks. You ain't even got to bench them. Just take them out a few plays. Put somebody in there that can give you a different look, that can do something a little bit different. But I'm at a point now where I'm waving the white flag on Jared Goff. I have to. Because as bad as I want to blame the offensive line, the film don't say that. And as much as I would love to just trust the stats gave 2 quarterbacks interceptions that were not their fault. Jared Goff's interception should not be on his name because I need the dude to hold on to the ball. He didn't. And it sucks. And I'm frustrated. But I don't know how anybody gets in rhythm with all this damn, you get a turn, you get a turn, you get a turn. We're not in preseason. The time for that is over. I expect more. I am going to look for more. And that's the reality of it, people. The problem with this team, yes, it starts with the coaching. But I feel like the coaches are pigeon-held to just being stuck because of Jared Goff. They can only do so much. And if you just don't understand it, you don't get it. He says, we told you. I know. He says, if you didn't think all these, I'm a winner. I don't know how to think no other way but to be a winner. Why would I think anything else? I'm a winner. Winners don't think about losing. That's not what we do. And so, yes, I expect for them to be better. And if you're looking and you're being honest, you would say, okay. Now, if you're looking in the chat, I put a link in there. If you want to join the show to talk some Lions with me or ask me some questions, feel free. If you're joining the show, I ask you to do one thing. Before I bring you on, I must see your face. You cannot just pop up in here and decide that, oh, I'm going to do what I want. It's not going to work like that. Secondly, please keep it clean. Don't embarrass yourself. I won't embarrass you neither. I promise you, it's all fair. It's all fair. But what we cannot have is that look. We can't have that. We can't. So again, this is your opportunity to join the show. Make sure you got your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, something that you can connect to with internet, good internet. I'll bring you on, give you a few for you to talk some ball with me. And once you show me your face, you in. It's just that simple. Now, I see I got one person in the background, but it says device is not connected, so he must be setting it up. But I'm giving you an opportunity to join the show and talk some ball with me. Any questions you have, this is that time to ask. I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not talking draft. I'm just not there yet. The winner says I can't. But yes, I'm waving the white flag on all the other stuff. You got me. I was wrong. There's no way I saw us being this way. I just didn't. But I can tell you this much. There's a lot to be happy about. Because I'm seeing people perform that probably was never going to do it in the first place. I believe it's a Crimson. Crimson, you got to connect your mic. You got to give it permission to access your mic for you to get on, so I can hear you. It won't let you in without that. But if you want to join and talk some ball, the link is there. If you got questions, then I'll bring you on. We got my man Malik in the building. Malik, you can cut your camera off now, bro. Yep, you cut your camera off or you can leave it on. It's up to you. I'll bring you on. You ready? Malik, what up, though?
What's up, Luke? What's up? How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. What you got for me today?
All right, so I want to know, like, it seems like the coaching staff is really scared to like bring on David Blau because I feel like if we just bring him on, this whole season could turn around. Because I mean, I know getting the top pick, is a good. It's not a good thing, but it's for a rebuilding organization, it's a good thing. But then at the same time, as an organization that's rebuilding, making it to the playoff in your first year is also a good thing. I feel like you bring on David Blau, who knows, he might could turn around and go 11-6.
I just look at it
You
like
ain't
this.
mathematically eliminated yet.
I just look at it like this. I still see 7 winnable games on the schedule, and I just think who can play this bad. And what I mean by bad is not being able to get garbage time stats or not being able to get good numbers, right? But I'm talking about being able to just see an open receiver, just knowing that he's there. And or being able to escape the pocket. And that's why I said, why not let Blau try? If we lose, I ain't no if. I don't even think we're gonna beat the Rams. So we lose to the Rams. You got a chance on another winnable game against the Steelers. If you lose that game, how do you justify not putting in Blau?
Because when I look at it, okay, let's go back in time. When you look at the time that Stafford got hurt and Blau came in, Blau he did all right for it. That was his rookie season, if I'm correct. He did all right. Them couple of games that he had to play.
And I think if you look at most of those games, I think he'd have been okay. I'm at a point where I'm not picky, bro. It's not hard for me. I'm not picky. I'm just saying, at some point, we have to be honest about our team. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed as hell because I really want this team to be better. I see what they can be. But before I can even go down and see anything different, it's hard for me to talk about winnable games with this guy playing quarterback and he's not seeing the field.
And then I got one more comment I want to make before I leave. Another thing, I was surprised today when I heard that Brad Holmes said the Lions, we will be buyers instead of sellers at this year's trade deadline. I was technically surprised. I was really surprised. I thought we were going to be more so sellers than buyers, but hey, it's a crazy world.
But the reason you should be happy that he's talking about us being buyers is because with us being buyers, we have an opportunity. Realistically, to still do and set ourselves up for next year. If this year is going to be for a loss, and you talking about I got some people who's out there I can get for the lows, why not, man? But I do appreciate your support. You rocking with me, you coming on. And doing it. I got some more people that's joining in. Again, the link is in the description. You want to join, all you need is a cell phone. All you need is a computer or something where it's a microphone and we can talk, man. But we got another one that's coming up. We got one of my Roar of the Lions UK family members coming in. Anthony, what up, though?
Hey, Luke, how you doing?
Man, I'm frustrated as hell, bro. I was so mad yesterday, I couldn't even go live. I was like, I can't. I'm too emotional right now. I don't even want to do it. And I had to calm down and go back and watch film. And I found myself looking at games, and I'm like, the irony of it all is disgusting. It's frustrating. I mean, what do you got, man? I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm being unfair to Goff? Do you think that Dan Campbell's the biggest culprit? Do you think that this team lacks talent? I don't think this is a lack talent issue. Like I don't.
Well, we discussed this on our pod the other day. I think what we came up against this Sunday, we came up against a really bad mismatch in this Bengals side. This is these are a team who has a really good run defense. We only got 36 yards on the ground in the entire game, and we were in this game till well in the third quarter. It's not like they were miles ahead and we had to get away from it. They just shut down the run game entirely. And when that happens and we have to put the game on Jared Goff, when they've got guys like Trey Hendrickson tracing him down, he got a sack on him, they hurried him a lot. That's just not the way we play football. That's not how our offense is designed to play this year. So I think, that didn't help. And then you've got a very elite young receiver core there at Cincinnati who were shackled up for the most part, but the longer the defense were on, they just got exploited with tiredness. I just think we came up against a team who just there were mismatches in the wrong places. Dan Campbell talks about it all the time, getting your mismatches in there. We just, we didn't have an answer for it, but it's because our team's not developed fully enough yet. I know Goff has had issues, and I'm, not quite high on him there either, but I think our offense was stopped from playing because we weren't allowed to play to our strengths this week.
See, it's like I can't even argue with you. I just felt like to sit there and go through 6 weeks, and I ain't got a running back who's had over 14 touches. How? In 6 weeks, I can show you running backs who's had over 14 touches who weren't in the bell cow. Yet we can't get one person over 6 weeks. Come on, man. This falls on the offensive coordinator, and it falls on the head coach for saying, "Hey, now get this ball going." And the idea that we're falling behind as a problem,
it's just, I don't get what you mean. It is frustrating, but you look yesterday, DeAndre Swift was on 1.8 yards a carry, I think it was. Jamal Williams was on 2.8 yards a carry. When you've got the injuries we've got on our offensive line, don't forget Evan Brown starting like his first games in the league here. Matt Nelson's just a plug-in right tackle. P&I's still learning. It's very difficult when you're up against a fearsome run defense like that. It's so hard to impose your will on the game, but outside of that, I think.
But to be fair, Anthony, and I do apologize for cutting in, but to be fair,
that's fine.
They're calling plays for Swift like he's Jamal Williams. Like, why not get him in space? Why not call screens? Why not call swing? Where's that stuff at? And let's be honest, I'm with my man Wesley here. I can see open receivers from the couch. Our quarterback can't see it. But again, there's a lot of pieces to this. I get it. It's multi-layered. It's multifaceted. I just know this, that I'm looking at plays that I'm asking one or two questions. Were people open and did it work? And the answer is a lot of the times is yeah. And the quarterback doesn't see him. And that's a problem.
It is a big problem. I agree. But, you know me, I like to look on the more positive side of things as well. And there are positives here. You look at the performance of the rookies, they're only getting better. Ali McNeil is looking so much better now that he's getting used more. He got a hit yesterday. He's looking better on that defensive line. Barnes was the highest graded out of all the defenders. He's coming into it a lot more. Jerry Jacobs did well. I mean, this is what we were looking for this year. We didn't necessarily think we were going to be competing, but we want these younger players to develop and look better. And to be fair, we've seen more development in these 6 games of players than we saw in 3 years under Matt Patricia. We never saw player development, but here the players look like they're getting better every week. And yes,
right.
It is a struggle, but I like to look for the positives, and they are positives. Evan Brown came in, gave up 1 pressure. He's replacing one of the best centers in the league.
I know. It's blowing my mind. This is one of the reasons why I look at this, and I'm like, this is how I know that we got talent there. It's just, God, like we got like scraps that out here performing that, like most people said, will probably be a 4 or 5 on somebody else's team, but they're performing for us. And the injuries are mounting up and everything else. But there's some things that I think can be done to protect us. Now, I do agree with Don Burr here. This is a good point that I did not think about. Like 100% did not think about. And this right here has helped me a little bit in my thinking, where he says, you bench Goff, you telling all 31 teams you're drafting a quarterback. That's a good point. Why are we crying for Blau when you have a $30 million quarterback, Goff? I'm not even crying for Blau. I'm crying for anybody to come in at this point because I expect more out of Goff, and I'm not getting it.
The only thing I would say in a bit of defense of Goff is you bring him in here. He's looking for a fresh start. He's obviously been cast away in LA. We're missing our 2 elite guys on the offensive line, and we don't have a wide receiver 1. And the guys who have been coming through have been injured. You put him into that situation, give him 6 games, and then bin him. That could be a culture thing down the line. Other players go, I'm going to go there, play a few games. I might not play well. I'll get canned. I think you've got to be careful about that. I think he's here for 2 years. We may as well give him the chance to prove himself, but he's not exactly in the most ideal situation, even though he's making bad throws, and I'm not disputing that at all. But I'm just thinking of the outside, perception of it as well.
It's fair. It's fair. Listen, you're not going to get any. I've done it once. I've done it twice. I will do it a third time. I'm waving the white flag. Whatever solution y'all can offer, I'm taking it. I expected more from golf. I did.
I think we all did. We should be disappointed in what we've seen so far. But, this offense, for it to work properly, has to work with the running game as well. And it just hasn't been, which, is a shame. We need to find more ways to get this running game working, whether it's stacking the box a bit more like Chicago did against us. We just need to find a way to get it going and take pressure off golf. Otherwise, this is going to keep happening.
And you know what's frustrating about the game yesterday? I went through, if I can go through and look at film and see that, boy, if you just run the ball at them, they're in trouble. That's how the Bears beat the Bengals. They just ran the ball down their throat. Left, right, up, down. It didn't matter. And here we are coming out, and we couldn't even establish the run. 13 carries for your running back. Now get this. He had 8 in the first half. Ouch. Come on.
But I think the thing that most frustrating for me is that I'm seeing a defense which is completely injury ravaged. Has got undrafted free agents and rookies in the secondary and on the defensive line are playing their hearts out. We have not seen defense like this in a while. Get all these drives we're shutting down. This Bengals side, we just gave them nothing in the first half, but then just time of possession gave in. I think, what were we on the field for? 24 minutes? You can't be on there and expect the defense with such little resources to carry on holding up. But Aaron Glenn is performing miracles with this defense, and I will stand and die by that.
Yes, he is. Listen, if you would have told me that this defense would have held the Ravens, who just did the Chargers dirty, to 19 points, I'd have said, buh. Buh. If you would have told me that this defense would have did enough in the way of turnovers to get us back in the game against the 49ers, that's bull. I'm not buying. If you would have told me that this defense would do enough to help the offense get a lead in the first half against the Packers, I'm calling BS on that. The worst game I've seen thus far is this one. This is the only game we was not in. And it's because we're not consistently running the ball to protect the defense, and we're not consistently running the ball to protect the quarterback. And it's where I get frustrated at, because I didn't think we were going to go to the playoffs, but I certainly thought we would be having better play from the quarterback. And part of it is me just want to just cuss out all the people who basically harassed the entire Stafford family for nothing.
No, absolutely. But I mean, I think, as frustrating as it is right now, and I get it's difficult, the development we're seeing from players here gives me a lot of optimism for the future. When we have, 60 million in free agency money next year, when we have more draft picks, better qualified ones, from what I've seen this year, from the so little we had to work with, we've made a lot out of it, and I'm confident this regime are going to get it right. They're just dealing with Quin's dead roster at the moment, and I'm looking for the positives, and I'm seeing a lot. So I do have positivity through that still, even though it's difficult right now.
I do too. I still have the positivity for it. Like I said, it's just once I go through and I start breaking this up in percentages, the offense is dying. I put it this way, if the quarterback does his job, everything else will open up, because now I'm noticing that teams are just like, stop the run. He's not throwing it far. And when he does throw it deep, he always seems to throw it deep to the same 5'7" receiver. Like, I would give you right now the opportunity of a lifetime, because you're probably taller than most of the receivers we got. I would give you that chance to do that and get it going if you really, to do it. But it just sucks, man. Again, the link is in there. If you want to join the show, join. Stay with me, Anthony. We're bringing in another RachelMarieSports UK family member and somebody I cannot wait till this show is over so I can talk to him about that KRS-One Big Daddy Kane versus, because I was living my best life. That's my man Steve in the building. What up, though?
What up, there, guys? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I mean, what you got for me? What you think? Am I crazy? Have I lost my mind? Is it just me, or am I seeing this wrong? I feel like I'm watching the clips and I'm watching them slowly and I'm paying attention. And I even had somebody tell me that it's not fair for you to take a screenshot because it's not being put in context. And I'm like, don't they do that in the NFL game on the sideline? Take a screenshot and say, hey, look, here go the photos of what happened so you can see it. Why I can't do it? If they do it, why can I? What are your thoughts, man?
I think we're paying at the moment for Brad Holmes' gamble. And, you know, obviously he's the make weight in the Stafford deal. And I think it was kind of like damage limitation. They thought that they could do the deal and they could get a guy who could be a bridge, and we're getting through the next couple of seasons, and they wouldn't have to spend their draft capital on a QB. And I think what we've seen in the last 6 games is that fall apart slowly, game by game. And the big problem is his contract, and that's why it's so difficult for Dan Campbell now, because, you know, where are we going with Goff's contract over the next couple of years? Have we just swapped one problem, which is like you know, an unhappy Stafford, and now we're kind of like stuck with this guy who just isn't going to be able to do what they thought he could do.
Not even close.
Yeah.
not even close. Because you know the worst part about it is having a blind quarterback, right? And I'm not talking about blind like he really couldn't see, like blind, but blind as in he's just locked in on who he wants to throw to, and he doesn't care. Even when you see him go through progressions, it's like they're open, throw the ball to him. Nope.
He just looks shook all the time. He just looks absolutely shook. He just doesn't look like he's got any confidence. You know, I mean, we've seen Burrow in the last couple of games. In the last game, Burrow threw like a terrible interception, like he was seeing ghosts. But, you know, then he'll come back strong and you know, with some like big drives. Goff just looks like he's about to shit his pants every time. Yeah, every time.
Every time.
It's, you know, and that's a good look.
This comes from Darth Twerk. He says, Ian Rappaport is reporting we are looking to trade for a receiver. Anyone you interested in, Luke? No, because Golden Tate's a free agent. I don't even have to go that far. I can. If you're going to look at the free agent pool right now, why would I need to trade for a receiver? That's the least of the position I want to trade for. So if they're trading for a receiver, it might be somebody good, like Chris Godwin or you know, if he's up for trade. If they're going to trade somebody, like Mike Williams from the Chargers or something, give me something that's big enough for him to throw it to down the field at this point, because he certainly enjoys 5'7" Khalif Raymond, and it's like he won't throw those same passes on short routes, but he'll throw them deep, and it's boggling.
We could trade for Calvin Johnson, and Goff wouldn't spot him in the backfield.
That's a problem. That's a problem. They're open. Like, hold on, let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this. While I'm trying to locate this, I want y'all to understand something. That there comes times where people want to say things, and when you know it's bad when the broadcast is showing you like, hey, they're open. like I don't know if you know this, but they're kind of open, and I really don't want to just blame it all on Goff. I really don't, because I understand that there are things that go into this thing, but every week I'm seeing him just miss wide open receivers, and what I mean by missing, he's not even throwing it to him.
This is the thing with the All-22 film. I mean, like, yeah, and you know, he's like a real tape dog, and he's like, you know, he does his college football podcast for War the Lions, and he's breaking down the tape, and you can always find some tape where a QB misses a receiver if you look hard enough. But I mean, Goff's, like you said, Luke, Goff's doing it so you can see it off your couch.
Right. I'm not even trying to go searching for it. I don't even want to search for it. I just want to see them make the right play. And he's not even able to do that. Like I said, you get an interception, and you come out with an opportunity to do something extra, and you don't even do that. It's so freaking frustrating. And when I tell you I have higher expectations,
In the chat saying, "Is this dude at the library?" I'm in the hip hop library.
Oh, listen. His hip hop life is unheard of. It's unheard of. Like I said, I can't wait till we get out of here and I can just kind of kick the bobos on some things. But I'm trying to see if I can find this exact play because I want to show it and say, look, if I see this, everybody else should see it. And I know that some people were saying stuff like, oh, this person was under pressure or that person was under pressure. But it's like, there's no excuse for this. There's no, I can't even freaking find it. I don't even care. I'm just too irritated at this damn point. I can't find it. I'll find a video clip later. I'm pretty sure. I just can't. I'm irritated as freak. We got a few more people here. Crimson finally joins us. Crimson, what's going on, man? What you got for us on the show, bro?
Oh, sup, Luke? It's been a while, actually. I
know, right?
I haven't talked to you since the day you used to use phone lines.
I'm bringing them back. I'm gonna tell you the truth. We had a game and I broke that mug. I literally broke that damn phone. I literally got so mad that I broke the phone. I literally just tossed it. I was pissed and I tossed it. So Analytics Dan's in the back waiting on me. I got my man Spirit Detroit in the back waiting on me. I'm gonna bring y'all both in. Give me a second. I want to let my man Crimson get his talk in. Crimson, what you got for us, man?
Well, first off, my girlfriend was asking who you were. This is Luke, the guy I listen to Lions talk about. You've heard his voice before, but
pretty much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I've been on his subscription list for a long time, and say hello to the dog. And yeah, my point is the entire time I've been watching Jared Goff, he reminds me of John Kitna 2.0. He's about as stiff as a rock. Just he'll sit there in the pocket for 20 years. Doesn't do. You're like, oh, don't worry, I'll be protected for days and days. And oh, look, I'm not protected. Fling right out the. And it's not. He doesn't do much of anything. Honestly, I look at Goff. It's like I think we'd be better off with like Tyrod Taylor. Just put Blau in at this point.
Tyrod Taylor's performed for Borderline, man.
I mean, he's worked with Anthony Lynn, so he already knows his plays, and he's gone to the playoffs with him. And
I just listen. I was so against any other quarterback. I was just so about let Goff have a chance. And
yeah,
I waved the white flag. I can't.
I was as old as you. I was the guy who was saying 2-14. That's the thing. I had low expectations, and I'm still disappointed. How does that work?
It's one of the things where, again, people, in case you were wondering what's going on, I have dropped the link in the description. So if you want to come on and talk ball, I'll get you in here. I don't want to keep Spirit Detroit too long because if you can tell, let me make sure I highlight this. My man's is out here getting ready, to serve this beautiful country. My man Avery, what's going on, bro?
What's up? What's
going on, man? What do you got for us for today?
Man, I just wanted to show my face in the YouTube verse, and I was so happy that she was talking about golf and the light you talking about him. I was just elated because how you felt is how I felt probably after the second or third game.
But I blame you though, Avery. This is your fault. I want everybody to hear me. I'm blaming Avery. He wanted Stafford gone yesterday, right? He needed Stafford up out of here. Avery's all like anybody can do this. Avery telling people, get Stafford the hell up out of here. We don't need him. And then all of a sudden, we get Stafford up out of here. Now he mad at. This is your fault, Avery. It's all on you, bro.
It's all right. It's my fault. Jared Goff can't play. Okay.
I'm blaming. I gotta blame some damn body. Okay. I already don't blame the head coach. You the next man up. Analytics Dan jumped in. Let me get him his thoughts for a second. And Analytics Dan jumped in, and I know you were one of the people who sympathized with Jared Goff, correct?
Correct.
All right, and you don't believe that Jared Goff should get this tongue lashing that he's getting from Anthony and Steve and Spirit Detroit and Crimson and basically the Lions Nation. So go ahead, the floor yours.
Yes and no. I'm very pissed at Goff because I do want to say this. We had the 12th ranked offense at one point to begin the first 2 weeks. It's not act like this offense is incapable of production. So I do believe that. Now, granted, we don't have the same old line. I know one of the Roar of the Lions UK guys said our lineman's hurt. That is correct. But we've also seen Goff perform. I don't know if I ever showed you this clip, but we also saw those little scrambling plays that Goff had versus the Bears. He can perform when scrambling. And he's missing clear open guys. That play versus Cincinnati is an example of it. I mean, he just misses 2 guys that were on his right. He looked at them, and instead he tried to scramble and run away. He's trying to make those highlight reel plays, and it's very frustrating to go. I mean, Campbell even put it best in his words versus Minnesota. He's like, sure, Goff was pressured by Sewell and Nelson, but he had that out to throw that hitch to Hawkinson. Just throw the hick to Hawkinson.
Listen, Campbell didn't even say, sure, he was pressured. He didn't even say that. Campbell said, and I quote, if he just throw the hitch, which is the look we wanted, we don't have a sack fumble. That's what Campbell said.
Well, even if you look at it from the statistical standpoint, Goff was at least at one point like red hot as a passer, right? He had 6 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, or something like that. He was doing red hot, and then suddenly just went away. So I can't blame it all on Lynn. I can't blame it all on the O-line when it's obvious that he's at least somewhat produced before. And we were closer to winning games, but this is the first time we got blown out. And the thing is, it's not like the defense score does not resemble how bad the defense played. The defense gave up 34 points, but that's not how they played. They played hardcore, good football until like the end of the third quarter. I mean, for the most part, I blame this game on Cincinnati on Goff, Lynn, and a little bit of the O-line, but largely Goff. My problem with Goff is he has these moments of, okay, the team does suck. But in the moments that there's an open guy or that he's not being incredibly pressured, he misses them. And that's so frustrating. A quarterback has to find those open guys if we're going to win games. And as much as one might say, oh, we can't fairly judge him on that, well, a quarterback still should be able to play well behind a little bit of bad. I mean, that was actually that was Avery's big thing with Stafford. Stafford would have Calvin or Golden Tate or Jones, and we would maybe get 6 and 10 or something. Goff's doing worse than what Stafford was doing, and Stafford's had bad teams.
He don't even see him. Let my man Greg get a little play time in here. Greg, you with us still? I see you just walking. I say he's feeling the wind blowing. Yeah. Welcome to the show, bro.
I had to. What's up, Luke? I had to mute the mic because I didn't want you to hear all of that though. They said everybody can hear me in the show, but what's going on? Man, I just gotta say now, you gotta stop. You can't set yourself up for failure like that, man. Remember I told you. I was like, Luke is gonna have high blood pressure. Listen, I say Luke gonna have high blood pressure for the end of this season. If he think we about to win nine games, that's insane. But you know what?
I had us at 8, and I said we could win between 7 and 9. I had us at 8 and 9, and I said we could win between 7. And I said I'll even take the 9.
Man.
But I still see 7 winnable games. Like I think the Steelers is a winnable game. I think that the Seattle Seahawks game is a winnable game. But the problem is
Philly.
I don't trust the quarterback no more. So I waved the white flag. I don't know what you want me. I gave. Listen, in case you miss it, I'm gonna give it back to you again. I don't want you to say I didn't. Here go the white flag. I waved it.
Hey man, listen. I understand the winner's mentality, bro. But like, you ever read the book called The 50th Law?
It sounds familiar. Is that the one? Oh yeah, I know what that is. I know what that is.
The one 50 Cent wrote with Robert Greene. One of his laws was you got to see shit with intense realism. That's just another way you got to win out here. You got to be able to really see what it is. I saw what it is from jump. I was like, oh no, Goff ain't gonna cut it. Oh, this defense is not gonna be good. Oh, they gonna have some uptime. Remember, I came on the show and I said you got to remember what Dan Campbell said. Don't look at this right now. Look at it for 2 years from now. You know what I mean? So
true.
But
even you gotta admit, we were right there in the dog fight with the 49ers. We was in that dog fight with the Ravens, in the dog fight with the Vikings. They're just not closing it out. We're in these fights. Well, don't say the big.
Yeah, they
that was never a fight. That was a bullying. They took our lunch money and our milk.
No, yeah, No, they was in there, but I mean, but that's what I wanted. I want them to play hard. I expect losses on the record, but I want them to look hard, play hard, look better than what they did last year. And I've been seeing a lot of that this year, so I'm not disappointed at all. This is everything I expected.
Okay. Listen, again, if you're looking, you'll see the link in the chat. You want to join the show, you can. I'm just telling you right now, I'm waving the white flag on it. Anthony, what are you thinking? Do you think that I had my expectations too high? Did you think that I set myself up for failure? I don't even know how to win, and I don't even know how to see it based on what I see on film.
I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a guy a chance here, for sure. I mean, Goff comes, we all wanted to back Jared Goff when he came here. I still think he got the short end of the stick in LA. I still think McVay is just as much to blame for their troubles as Goff was, because his system got figured out, and conversely, so did Jared Goff. But I don't think you had unrealistically high expectations at all. I think it's right to be disappointed. We're all annoyed. We're all a little angry maybe that we've not won some of these, but I think that's a good thing from our point of view. I mean, we came into this season, we were told we've got no wide receivers, our defense is terrible, we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league, we're going to be 32nd, we've got 60 million in dead cap. With the injuries we've got, it's up to near 100 million in talent we're missing, and we are just missing out on winning games. We nearly took down the Ravens, who are a playoff side. We nearly took down the Vikings, who are a playoff side. We came so close to it despite all these handicaps. I think the fact that we're frustrated is a good thing. I know it might not seem like that on some levels, but did we expect to be competing against such teams this year? I don't think really we did, especially with the deficiencies we've got here. So, it's a good thing, I think, a little that we're annoyed about this. I mean, what's going to happen this time in 12 months when we've got rid of all that dead cap, when we've got a lot more money to spend, when we've got the high draft picks to use? Brad Holmes has shown that he's great in the draft. He's great in looking at undrafted free agency. He finds the talent there. I don't think it's wrong of you to feel upset at all by this, but I think the fact that we are is a good thing, not a bad thing.
And I feel bad because I want to ride with Jimbo G, right? But I can't tell you one game where I saw an improvement in the quarterback. And it's forget Goff. Let's say Goff is not the name. Let's say it's quarterback A. I haven't seen one game where I see an improvement from week to week. I've seen cornerbacks who were undrafted free agents improve. I've seen offensive linemen who probably shouldn't be in the game improve. Hell, I've seen receivers who was once thought to not even have an opportunity improve. When are we going to see quarterback A improve? What do you think, Steve? When are we going to see quarterback A improve? We don't even got to say Jared Goff. When are we going to see quarterback A improve?
I mean, I just don't think that's going to happen. And, when at the start of the season, as Ant just said, no one wanted to see Jared Goff fail. Like, I remember doing a piece for our podcast, and we were looking at Goff and doing a bit of analysis. And I was saying, look at his numbers in 2017. Look at his numbers in 2018. I mean, he was kind of like right up there. He was, an elite player. And people are going to say, oh, yeah, but he had Todd Gurley. Well, Todd Gurley didn't throw the ball for him. Goff made those throws for 2 years. He made throws. But the problem is something's happened. And that guy is just shot, absolutely shot. And we were really hoping that coming to Detroit, he'd get a fresh start, and he would rekindle whatever it was that took him so high in the draft, that kind of quality of play and how he played for those couple of seasons for the Rams. But after 6 games, we can see it's gone. The guy's shook. He's seen ghosts, and the big problem is, which we're kind of just skirted around, is you're saying about looking forward to next year. Goff's still going to be here next year. We're still going to be paying him a lot of money next year. And that's the big problem, because this is a rebuild, and you can't have a rebuild where your one key strategic piece who absolutely holds that offense together just is miles off where he needs to be, because that kills everything else around it.
Right. All right. I mean, listen, I can't argue with nobody. Listen, I told y'all this is the way the white flag day for me. I just wanted to point out the fact that it's so sickening to see a guy actually be given time, have a semblance of a run game, and receivers are actually getting open. Damn, who their name is. They're actually getting open. We got somebody new joining us. We got my man One Pride 40. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, not much. What you got for us, man?
So I got a question for you. So do you think the Rams deal was a bad deal? Would you rather took in the Carolina deal?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. Even though Jared Goff ain't living up to what I thought he would be, even though I can tell you this, if we had took in the Carolina deal, you walk out with a quarterback who's not even on the field.
Hey, your life up, what?
Right? And so now he's not on the field, and you're going to do what with a guy that you can't use? So I'm not going to say it's a bad deal. You walked away with 2 firsts and a quarterback replacement. The mistake might have been when they restructured that money to free up cap space, thus tying us to him for these 3 seasons. That might be the mistake.
Well, you only have like 2 years anyway. You can get rid of him in 2023.
Fair enough, but I think that's the year they're going to draft a quarterback, and I think that's the year they're going to just say we're going to let Goff play it out. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, I'm thinking he'll probably be here in 2022 as well, and I don't think he's going to be here in 2023, and that's probably when the rook's going to come in.
Well, like I said, it's one of the things where I don't regret the move. I wish that the guy that we got had more pride in himself and just said, you know what, I'm going down blazing. You already got a bunch of turnovers. You might as well just unleash it and throw the ball. I mean, really.
Dude, Goff is like so emotionless too. Like, if you ever like watch his press conference and stuff like that, he's literally static like Patricia was like during his press conferences.
I need him to have that same attitude that Sunshine had and Remember the Titans. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going down with the ship, and I need that same attitude. Avery, let me ask you a question, bro. Because this is, I see you got the helmet on. Avery is in rare form right now. Avery, what are you thinking, man? Do you think that? And y'all didn't peep him go behind the lion blanket, but I can hear you. Avery, how we fix this? Where does this start?
You bench Goff.
He says a bench Goff. We got a draft choice.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a real answer.
Okay.
All it takes is them to blow. So if Goff gets hurt or he's out for a play or they bench him for a game, blow and the offense start to move, that's when the ticking starts happening and the time starts happening. And once you see like Blau start to have a touchdown and not have the same deficiencies, that's when the lines will change. That's when the brain trust will be like, oh yeah, we should. Now, they ain't gonna stick with Blau. He might win 1 or 2 games for you, but that'd be enough to say if we had some real talent in here, we could probably just make this Goff guy a backup and get a real quarterback, and we can just have an open competition because their whole thing is mantra is competition. So I think that's a feasible choice. So I'm not praying on him to get. You said what?
No,
you better take
it. Go ahead. Go ahead, Pride.
I can't hear. Okay.
I said he should take a pay cut too if he's going to be a backup.
Oh, he had to take a pay cut. Or listen, if you didn't make it here, you in trouble. But Cap Ice Cold Spirit says you wait for them shots to be fired after you said trade Stafford. That's why you put the helmet on. Oh, here's a question from C. Perry before we get up out of here. He says, my question is, do you think Goff is just unhappy and not performing on purpose to get traded? I haven't even got that far in my thinking. Do anybody think that's the case?
No.
It is a neon guy.
No.
100% Pride, man. Thank you for joining, man. We're gonna do this again. Make sure I bring people in and we talk about it. I just feel like this is the space to do it, man. So appreciate you for coming through, Pride.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
All right. Anybody get that feeling?
If Goff fails here, he'll never get a job in the NFL again. So he benefits absolutely nothing from.
That's what I'm thinking.
Here. He will never get another job again. He'll be lucky to be a backup somewhere. So
Because
I don't think.
No, I think you're right. Because at that point, you are essentially proving that McVay was right.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a question for you. Does anyone want to see 28 more games of Goff? Because
no,
we've got another 11 games this season, and he's going to be here next season. That's 28 games of Goff.
I want to throw up. I'm praying to God that he shows improvement this season.
This is all a question of hindsight, though. You know, you say another 28 games with Goff is a bad thing, and yes, it could be. But if in 2 years' time, when Jared Goff leaves or is traded, or we get the new guy whatsoever, and we've assembled a team for the new quarterback to come in and compete straight away, the QB will probably be one of the last things we need anyhow. I think that was the purpose of making it 2 years, building this team up, then getting the new quarterback in. So if I have to put up with him for this season and next for us to build a more complete team to put our fresh quarterback around, then that is a price I'll pay.
I like the way you think, Anthony. You're making me feel better right now as we speak. I'm closer to getting back on the edge because I was sick. We got another person coming in. William B, what up, though?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, man, what you got for the show, man? Before we hop out of here, I want to make sure I get you a chance to get in here. What you got for us?
Yeah, I think the Jared Goff discussion is a little off. When he came in, at best, I thought it was always the discussion that he was a backup or a bridge quarterback to a backup. This was the year that it allows us to get Penei Sewell and build a team for a QB this upcoming draft. I thought that was always the discussion. And then next year he holds that over for a little bit. Next QB comes in, and then you cut him. I don't understand why people had such high expectations. I thought it was more like, well, it's a burning ship. If I land, that's a plus. If I get to my destination, that's even better.
I think what my frustration is I expected for him to be a game manager. He's not even good at that. Like, he's not even good at just managing the game. And when he's had games that they were running the ball, they were not consistent in running the ball. They were asking him to do more, and he's got time in the pocket, and people are open, and he's not even close. And so it's bridge quarterback don't mean you get to play this bad. Like right now, I'm ready to hire you, William B, to be the quarterback. Just because you're a bridge quarterback does not mean you get to be like this, and that's just the reality. So it's frustrating. I see my man Detroit D popped up in the building. What up, though?
What up, though, Luke? What's going on, everybody?
Man, same stuff, different day, man. What you got for us on the show, real quick?
Okay, first and foremost, man, we're gonna talk about one Jared Goff. We all know what Mr. Goff is, first and foremost. But like yourself, Luke, I did think he would be a better bus driver of the bus, but he's totally had a wreck. He didn't went off the road, man. He's lost it, man. The question I do have to everyone is, what's the difference with cutting Jared Goff right now, getting rid of him? What they would what teams have done with first draft, first round overall picks at quarterback, like the Cardinals did with Rose, and just get him out of there, cut bait. Just I understand the money, but it is what it is. He's a burnt bridge. He's not even a bridge, bro.
But listen, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. All right, Casey Bayboy, shout out to you, salute, sir. He says Blau isn't good, people. You need more of the energy. He couldn't even beat out Driscoll last year. What say you?
I would rather see. I know one thing. Blau is going to get the ball out of his hand. He's not going to stand there and hold the ball like a statue.
And like I said, when I'm watching games, like I watch the game broadcast, right? I'm watching the game like y'all watching it. The moment they drop the game on NFL.com, I go and watch it again. And then when they drop the all 22s, I look at every snap and I'm like, I'm
ridiculous.
I'm looking
bro.
To say, oh, this guy's not open or that guy's not open. And I can't find it. So it's so frustrating. I swear, like, y'all don't understand. I just expected him to not. I didn't expect for it to be like this. I did.
He's holding the offense back.
That's a question I have. Do anybody agree with that? Do anybody disagree with that? Do you think he's holding the offense back or he's not holding the offense back? Do anybody agree or disagree with that?
He's crippling us, bro. Believe it. He's missing wide open wide receivers down the field, which will open up our run game. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. I mean, it is what it is, though.
Well,
I also have an issue with our play calling though, because a lot of the time we are like the run pass, first down run, second down run, third down pass, and I see that like for half our drives. If we get a good like 8-yard run, we then do 3 more runs. We never I do not feel like we're then capitalizing off of play action. We're not then capitalizing off of screens. And screens, honestly, I don't think the Lions can capitalize off of it because that's only good if you can pass the ball downfield. They have to pass rush you, and then when the pass rush comes, you dump it off to a screen. There's no reason to screen when there's 8 in the box and they're just going to tackle it up.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why the screen will work. I'm gonna tell you why. They called it and he took off on everybody. Like they've called it before. I put it this way: the screen is supposed to get a lot of people up the field and over pursuing, so you can kind of get going ahead of you. But I don't see the draw plays. I don't see a lot of the trap plays. I've seen them early on in the year, but I'm not seeing them as much. And I'm not seeing a lot of the 2 tight end set plays. I'm not seeing a lot of what's the word I want to use? I'm not seeing a lot of the plays that get Swift into space. I think we have to start to put focus back on Swift being into space. And the play calling, yeah, we can talk about it. And I really began to question the play call. But then I started thinking about things that were said about Goff by McVay, by the LA media, and other people who said, hey, they've had to dumb the playbook down for him. And hey, he's had to be told when to throw the ball. And I'm just like,
hey, Luke,
yes, sir.
If you go back and look at him when he was coming out of college in that I think it's Tetford system out there at Cal, bro, he never really threw the ball down the field. Then he was nothing but
no. I'm gonna say that because I do remember him when he came out of Cal. But the difference was in Cal, it was more up tempo. And he was throwing that thing down the field. Surprisingly, to Chad Henson, who ended up getting hurt on our team, he was throwing that thing down the field. But he was also having what's the word I want to use? He was having moments. I'm gonna say, yeah, he was having moments where he was able to create a tempo, and we're not doing that. It's one of the reasons why Dan Campbell is so upset with the fact that we're not creating tempo. And so I don't want to down him like that, but at this point, it's been very underwhelming. I think that it's safe to say he has been beyond underwhelming, and that's the scary part for me.
Hey, and if we can't parlay those picks, man, into some bona fide players, we really got fleeced in the whole deal. Because Stafford is setting it on fire over there with the Rams right now, bro. They, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't have a bona fide running game, but they are sticking with the run. And that's what I don't understand about our team. We won't stick with the run.
Well, I mean, when has Stafford ever had a running game, though? He's just back to his normal.
Oh, no. 1 year. He's had 1 year. That's it.
I just want a little bit more. Like I said, I had to get this in. I made sure that I wasn't on overtime list or nothing like that today. What the sad part is, I don't even be on overtime list. They still find a way to put me on it. What the hell? Like I'm going to talk to Anthony and Steve about that. Like, how the hell do they do overtime in the UK? Are they just forcing y'all to do it, or it's like, no, do the time you did and get the hell out of here? I don't even care who answered that. Just anyone. What is overtime like in the UK? I need to know because I'm starting to feel like America is cheating me. I feel like they taking all my life minutes for some pennies. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's entirely optional here. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's there if you do.
You know what? I'm gonna leave it there. All right, good people. Give people your final thoughts. Start off with you, my man, Detroit D. Give the people your final thoughts, and then so that way they can, they can check you out. I know you on IG. You definitely hit me up. We talk on there quite often. He's my man, Jim. Listen, Nobody makes the best catch-up jokes like my man Jimbo G. He said, John Jones, Luke ignored me because I asked him 2 locations. He doing the podcast out of, which is Wood Motel on 8. Jesus. And Henry Ford's hospital basement. Oh my God. He's trying to kill me, people. I'm sorry. Give the people your final thought. I'm not going to play with him, though.
I like what I've been seeing from the team overall as far as the young talent, man, and what they've been doing out on the field, especially the young DBs, just being competitive out there. You know, they only going to get better over time, and I like the direction of the team as far as the coaching staff and Dan Campbell, man. It's going to take some time. I do think we have the talent. We just need more of it.
100%. What say you, William B? What's your final thoughts?
I'm always an optimist. There's always bright sides to stuff. Our defense has been playing, I want to say, way better than 99% of people thought. I'm pretty sure Ravens, Bears, Vikings, most people thought we wouldn't hold them to as low as we did. So I'm optimistic about our defense. We got a lot of young guys. I don't think we have a corner over 25 on the roster. So I'd say optimistic and just our defense is getting gooder. I like it.
Yeah, listen. I needed this safe space because I was listen, you don't even understand. Now, y'all don't know this. Detroit D is sending me messages in real time and stuff is happening in the game. And I had to stop listening to his messages at one point because I'm getting more and more mad. So I'm like, oh, it's not just me that see this. I ain't the only one. And then this is what happened. It never fails. Steve will shoot me a message. I'd be like, oh, hell no. If Steve says something, I'm about to really get pissed because it's going to come with a joke. And I don't want to laugh because I'm mad that this guy done did it. And I know what's going to happen. So the frustration levels is high for me. I'm sorry to be honest. My man, speaking of Steve, my hip-hop historian, my hip-hop brother, I mean, we got to definitely talk about that KRS-One Kane boy. They put a show on that versus. That was a versus. But what do you have for the people, man?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Lions fan and you're just sore after that Bengals game and you're thinking about going back and looking at the All-22 tape or getting on Game Pass and watching the game again, just save yourself. Just save the pain. Turn that shit off. Get onto Versus, KOS-One, Big Daddy Kane last night, 2 hours, 2 absolute old school legends going at it. Just that's what you need, just to cleanse yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what I did yesterday. I watched the Versus. I hate to do this to y'all, but did anybody happen to watch that game? Seattle versus the Steelers, and the Steelers forced a fumble on DK Metcalf, and they stopped the clock. And my first thoughts was, oh, well, this game's over. 10-second runoff. And they put 2 more seconds on the clock, thus giving them a chance to not only call 2 plays, but thus give them a chance to go into overtime to win the game. So I decided to go back to a game that occurred between the Falcons and the Lions where they said that Golden Tate did not score. And they stopped the game and gave us a 10-second runoff. Am I the only one who walked out of that game saying to themselves, what the hell did I just witness? When is the 10-second runoff legitimately supposed to happen now? Like, I don't think they changed the rule, but yeah, the Lions got shafted. This is further proof that we got shafted. Especially if I didn't find anything that they changed the rule. Just saying. Anthony, final thoughts for the people, bro.
Forgive me, Luke, but I'm going to borrow your well-used phrase here and just say for Lions fans, do your research.
Yes.
Don't let your emotions cloud what's going on the field right now. This season was always about player development, building the squad back up from absolutely nothing under Quin. The rookies are playing well. You know, they are getting better by the game. We've got our undrafted free agents. They're playing well. You know, even guys like Barnes in the 4th round are already making their point on this team. You know, we are in good hands with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and you can see that we are. It is there to be seen on the pitch. And yes, there is a hell of a lot of frustration out there that we have not won some of these games, and there have been a few calls which have cost us. But for where we want to be, for the progress we're making this year, it is there to be seen. So don't give up on it and look for that this year.
True. And again, I'm just waving the white flag, not on the season, not necessarily on the coaches, just on the quarterback. I can't defend him anymore. He has to earn my respect back. It is what it is. Marcus Willis says, can we get a Nas versus Jay-Z versus? That might get personal. That might get a little personal, but I would absolutely love to see that. I don't think he would do it. I know some people want to see Eminem versus like Cannabis. I was like, nope, that's a fight. That'll never happen. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Listen, people, I want to thank everybody for, rocking with us, for coming through, and just supporting it. I want to thank William B. I want to thank Detroit D for coming on. I want to thank my man Greg coming on. I had Analytics Dan come in the building. I had Spirit of the Detroit Podcast, aka Avery G, in the building. I obviously got my RachelMarieSports UK family in the building, who came through and showed some love. And I got one Prowl 40 who showed up. So to all those people who jumped in and got their stuff, I'm going to do this more often. I may even start the show off with this and let you guys basically run it. You hop in talking, and I go to the next person. So I just wanted to give y'all a chance to get y'all venting out, because I know I had to vent, and after hearing it and seeing the proof in real time of the coach pointing out and saying that these are the problems, I want to make it that way. Now, you know me, people. You know me. I cannot end the show unless it's on a positive note, okay? Today's positive quote comes from me. Life does not necessarily have a timestamp. Life does not necessarily have a timestamp. I was sitting up here, and watching all these games and saying to myself, wow, how I'm enjoying this. And I found myself lost in time. And in that moment of me being lost in time, I took a second to say how thankful I am to be able to just get myself lost in time. I didn't have to think about where I was going to get my next meal. I didn't have to think about where I was going to sleep at tonight. I didn't have to think about where I was going to pay this bill or anything like that. I found myself in a place that made me whole, where time actually stopped for me. If you find yourself in that place, people, take the time to embrace it. Take the time to own it. Take the time to accept every bit of it. And take the time to be in that moment, to know that life doesn't have to have a timestamp. You can live your life in moments, and those moments can carry you to places you never known. And when you get there, understand that time has never been a factor. It is nothing more than a formality. And with that being said, people, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. As always, check out RachelMarieSports UK, because they are linked in the description. It is in there. It's always in there on every video. I make sure I tag them in there. And to all the people who came in and the guests who came in who had their views, be ready. I'm doing this more often because we're going to need these help groups bad. So get yourself ready. Get your popcorn ready. And as always, people, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.